Seniors is underwritten with the generous support of Judson Meadows, caring for you, and respite stays available too. And The Mortgage Place offers low rates, a wide variety of programs, expert advice, and exceptional service. We can meet with you in person to tailor your mortgage.
I'm Tim Bartos, and I'm here at Judson Meadows, and I'm talking with Ruth about the importance of pet visits.
Pet visits are wonderful. It's one of the things that brings our residents the most joy. There's nothing like the unconditional love of a pet jumping up in someone's lap and bringing a smile to their face. It's fantastic.
And we love our pet visits and welcome them with open arms. Judson Meadows, an assisted living community, the art of aging well.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, this week on A Look at Seniors, we're going to delve into, let's just face it, it's the 800-pound gorilla in the room, Alzheimer's. Now, as sort of a central theme, just to back up a little bit, Lois and I have been discussing two central things, aging in place, which you said to me doesn't necessarily mean at home. It could be in assisted living, wherever that place is. That's, you want to age in place. And then the other thing, of course, is independence and the drift into dependency, but trying to maintain independence as long as you can. And joining us today is Kim Hance. Now, you're the Adirondack Program Manager for Alzheimer's Association of Northeastern New York.
Good.
The titles sometimes really are, but that's all encompassing, by the way. Yeah. So first, welcome. Very nice to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Nice to have you back, Lois.
Thank you.
Let's discuss a little bit about this 800-pound gorilla. As program manager, what does that title indicate?
So it means that I'm working with families, I'm working with the community, I'm working with the general public, working with folks who are affected and diagnosed with Alzheimer's. I provide community program and education. A big piece of what we're doing now also is working with families one-on-one, so I can go into a person's home and meet with the individual and the family and talk about all of the services that are, and really be that bridge to help them understand and know what they need to do.
Boy, bridge is a very important word here. As Kim was telling me before we went on, you'll do this with individuals, you'll do it with organizations as well, right? The whole idea there is let's knock down the fear factor a bit on this thing. Let's get education is paramount here. But you also mentioned the word community, which of course funnels into the Senior Center in Saratoga.
Sure.
So how do you work together?
Well, everybody coming to the center is fairly independent. We talked about it the first series.
Right.
We will see early signs of Alzheimer's. So our resource is the Alzheimer's Association. We don't try to become experts in every area. So
right.
Kim has been an amazing resource. She comes in every Tuesday.
Wow.
We can make appointments for her if we know of somebody or a family that needs to talk to her. And we do some joint programming together as well.
I've got it. So let's just take a typical Tuesday, if there is such a thing.
Right.
Is there a common thread here? What seems to be the concern up front?
I think fear is
Yes, right.
is definitely for folks, and really, there's the everyday stuff of, like we talked about earlier, I walk into a room and I kind of forgotten why I've gone there. It's really educating the people, educating folks the difference between that I've walked into a room, forgotten what I'm here for, versus the memory loss that really affects our everyday life, and it affects everything that we do. So really a lot of what I'm doing is talking with folks at the Senior Center. As I've been there now and I'm more of a familiar face, they're a lot more comfortable asking me questions. I noticed that this happened the other day. Am I losing my mind? Or,
Yes,
is that Alzheimer's? And so a lot of times what's really nice is I can sit and talk with them in a very, friendly, just a conversation about it. And it's not saying that this is what you have, but it also could be saying, it might be something you want to talk to your doctor about, and
Yes,
it's in a very non-threatening way, which for so many people it's critical to be able to do that, because it is very scary. It's a very scary
Well, you know what? We all face this. If I lose my keys once a day, I lose them 5 times a day. Every single time I lose my keys, I think to myself, uh-oh. But, the point of differentiation here is disrupting your daily life.
Correct.
If you're reaching that point, or you know someone who is reaching that point, you might want to check it out, right? And we're going to devote a segment to the warning signs and some more particulars on this as we move through this series.
Right, yeah.
But let's talk about early detection. you know, that there are things that you can do, right?
Absolutely.
To get on the positive side of this, to try to help people build awareness and take some initial steps. What might they be?
So a lot of things are just like what we're doing with the Senior Center. We're really helping develop strategies for people so that they can continue to live a normal life, that they might just need a little bit of assistance. So there are lots of things that we can put in place for reminders. You know, maybe somebody gets to a point where they can't drive anymore, that becomes a concern. So like Lois talked about the community connections earlier.
Right.
It's really focusing on some strategies and helping folks so that they can maintain that independence. And I think that's what's so important, because people really fear that if this happens, they're no longer going to be able to do anything. And we really don't, we want them to be able to do as much as they can do it as safely as they can, and really promote that. Because the longer that they can do those things, the healthier and the more able they're going to be able to stay where they're at and where they want to be.
Right, you know what, and of course that's exercising the mind, which is
Absolutely.
paramount. You know, the whole idea there is that, well, someone might not be able to drive, they're not comfortable driving anymore, so if they can form a relationship with someone through the center to help them with a transportation issue or something, well, then they're active again, right? You had mentioned diet also.
Right. So some of the things that are coming out now is they're really starting to link good, healthy, heart-healthy diet is what's good for your heart is good for your brain.
Right.
And so they're really recommending the DASH diet and also the Mediterranean diet are really shown as being reducing risk factors for developing the disease.
Now you're involved in a lot of this. I think, I don't have the name right, Savvy Caregivers or something like
So-
that. But the Memory Cafe, right?
Yeah, we have the luxury of having the space to, and the working relationship with Kim to offer programs. Things like support groups and Memories in the Making and Savvy Caregivers, 5-week series that Kim is in right now doing with us. We're launching a new program in February called a Memory Cafe. This is something that started in the UK and is popping up around here. And one of my interns brought it to me. It's bringing caregivers as well as someone who has Alzheimer's together in one room. So you're not identifying anyone, and it's a social situation. And that's going to be launched on February 11th at the Senior Center. We're very excited about it.
Oh, you know, again, it puts the word community and community center, right? Again, some of the fear of any disease, especially a progressive disease like Alzheimer's, is that you might be alone out there. And the community center is saying, no, this could be a gathering place. What kind of things are you going to do at the cafe?
Well, I think the first one's going to be strictly social, and we want to talk to folks to see what they need. Some of the other models that are out there bring in a yoga class or some art classes, so we have the ability to add that. That's right there at the center. We're bringing in on the 25th a musician to sing some of the old-time songs. I think that's a big piece of memory.
Oh, sure is.
All of that. So we had folks that could do bridge and could still do their artwork because that part of their memory hasn't been affected. So in those early mild stages and into the moderate, I think it's really easy for us to continue to provide programming to help these families and the caregivers.
You know what, and that knocks down the fear factor, and it opens up the sense of community and the caregiver, which of course leads to some of those other principles about aging in place and whatever. You know, once you've know that you have that connection to a caregiver, something like this, the senior center.
This is a program that will really allow both the caregiver and the person that's affected with the disease to be together in a safe environment. Because so often the programs are separate, but this is really something for them to do together and do in a way that really helps them build another community and really find great things. Because so often people start to isolate.
Right,
And that becomes a big, big challenge. And you may have a healthy caregiver and then somebody who has the diagnosis, and the healthy caregiver also becomes isolated. So this really does provide for an opportunity for them to be able. So we're really, really excited.
Boy, it sure sounds terrific. You know what, we're going to have you back again.
Great.
I want to get in more detail on this and the connection to the community center we need to talk more about this. But in the meantime, though, if you know someone or you think you want to reach out, we've got a phone number for you. First is a website, alz.org. Plenty of information there, right?
Tons.
And there is a local number that you can call, 867-4999. 867-4999. And yes.
For the Saratoga Senior Center on any of these topics, if you have any questions and we can refer out, it's 584-1621 or saratogaseniorcenter.org.
Good. What's the phone number again?
584-1621.
Good. Okay. So that gave you time to go get that pencil or whatever you need, or watch this again on our website, and you can get all the information. Well, Kim, thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks very much for having me.
And Lois, we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
To see this interview again, you can head to our website, looktvonline.com.